Secretary of State, in June 2022, the Retained EU Law dashboard listed a total of 2,417 pieces of retained EU law. In January 2023, the Minister for Industry and Investment Security said, "I should be clear, at the moment the figure we have identified and verified for EU law is 3,200 and we expect it to be 4,000. Today the dashboard shows 6,757 pieces of assimilated law. Are you confident that the current total is accurate, or should we expect a substantial increase further?"
I'm confident that the amount that we've given is what we have found. This is one of the things which I believe I said previously at the Select Committee and on the floor of the House, that it's a very dynamic process. We are continually finding new regulations, but because we had a hard deadline to get the Act through by 2023, this is one of the reasons why we wanted to make sure we knew exactly what we were letting go of and what we were keeping. So I think the initial stock, we said, of EU law that we looked at was 55,000, of which we found these amounts, 2,000, 4,000, etc., the ones specifically pertaining to the UK. And we'll continue to keep looking. There might be some things that may end up having some impact, but it's reducing significantly. So,
do you think it'll increase further, though?
So far it has. I can't. It's one of those unknown unknowns. It might do. I can't imagine that there will be much more. If you look at the amounts that we are finding, it is reducing significantly with time. So since the end of last year, it hasn't been that much. But I wouldn't be surprised if we will continue to find new bits of retained EU law.
Minister, do you think people feel let down? It's nearly 8 years on since voting for Brexit, and we still have, as we've seen, nearly 7,000 pieces of EU laws given in their lives. When can we expect to be rid of these laws?
So no, I don't think people feel let down, and I say this as somebody who voted Leave myself. The purpose was to be able to forge our own future rather than just specifically on where regulations originated from. My view is that it is not whether or not law originated from the EU that makes it good or bad. It is whether it is something that we want on our statute books or not. So I haven't had anyone writing to me saying that we just want EU law gone. People make specific requests, some of them pertaining to retained EU law, some of them not. So we look at it from a needs basis rather than an origin basis.
I mean, I'm looking at it from a constituency basis because I've got a Brexit seat, and I have a lot of people saying to me that they feel, 8 years on, why we're still being governed at all by the EU. So that they want confidence, Minister. So
well, I think you can reassure them that we are not governed by the EU. There would have been laws which we put in place ourselves when we were in the EU, laws which we wanted. We're obviously not going to get
we have a timescale when you believe.
If I may, we're obviously not going to get rid of the ones we want to keep. We have said that we expect to remove about half of them or reform, but if we are going to reform them, we can't get rid of them because then we need to do new primary legislation. So the timetable, Chris, you'll probably remember exactly where we are in terms of the timetable, but we did remove the most critical thing, which was the supremacy of EU law by the end of 2023.
And just before Chris comes.